Hello again. I've been following with keen interest the efforts of a group of political activists to bring down the statue of Cecil Rhodes, which stands high above the street at Oriel College in Oxford. Unless attention was drawn to this statue by left-wing agitators, it is highly unlikely that anybody would even notice it. Look at the photograph in the thumbnail to this video and see how high above the ground this statue is. You can barely see it with the naked eye from the street. I mean, it's hardly obtrusive. Is it really putting off black applicants for Oriel College, as was recently claimed by Oxford University's Director of Admissions? This seems unlikely. In 2010, there were 52 black and minority ethnic applicants for Oriel College. In 2019, there were 85. So the statue of Rhodes doesn't really seem to be stopping people applying for Oriel College if they're black, does it? Cecil Rhodes was a controversial figure and was certainly an imperialist. I've got nothing against imperialism, but it's not as popular as once it was, obviously. There's no doubt that many of his views would not pass muster in today's politically correct world. The same could probably be said of almost every Victorian gentleman of the time, whether frankly an imperialist like Rhodes, or a scientist like Charles Darwin, or politician, writer, or anybody else. What is true is that Rhodes left almost all his money to Oriel College, Oxford, when he died, and it was intended to benefit students of any race. He's founded the Rhodes Scholarships, as I'm sure people are aware. Rhodes specifically dictated that the scholarships which he funded were to be open to students of any colour or ethnicity, which was quite a radical thing to suggest in those days, and sheds a different light on his character. In 1905, Rhodes died and left much of his fortune to providing for the international scholarships to Oxford, which bear his name. Just 2 years later, an African American called Elaine Leroy Locke became a Rhodes Scholar. This is a tradition which has continued to this day of giving black people and Asians a chance to study at Oxford University. Of the 32 people awarded Rhodes Scholarships, which are due to begin this coming autumn, 22 belong to visible minorities. Over 2/3, in fact. Rhodes' legacy is widening access to Oxford University for black people and Asians. If a decision is made to remove Cecil Rhodes' statue, then I hope that the university will no longer wish to benefit from his money. Otherwise, they'd look like dreadful hypocrites. The statue of Rhodes was in the news yesterday in another context. The newly elected president of Oxford University's Student Union, Rashmi Samant, the first Indian to be chosen for the position, compared Rhodes to Hitler last week, and she said that since nobody would want a statue of Hitler, the university shouldn't have one of Cecil Rhodes either. This was not only a staggeringly idiotic comparison to make, it also, of course, caused huge offence to Jewish students at the university. Combined with a tweet which she had made from the Holocaust Memorial in Berlin, making an awful pun and acting as though the Holocaust Memorial was something funny, it's caused some people to think she was anti-Semitic. This wasn't helped by the fact that she had posted a photograph on her Instagram account a couple of years ago, taken while she was in Malaysia. The picture was captioned Ching Chang. Viewers will not need to be reminded that Ching Chang Chong is made a noise made in supposed imitation of how spoken Chinese sounds to Western ears. It's long been a mildly racist way of mocking Chinese people. Her actions were condemned by the Oxford Campaign for Racial Awareness and Equality, and having upset both Jews, Chinese and various other people, Rashmi Samant was forced to resign before even taking up the post of president of the student union. This all goes to confirm something which most of us know very well, which is that racism is not confined to white people. Samant is Indian, but that didn't stop her making questionable remarks about the Holocaust, nor making fun of Chinese people. Racism, I'm afraid, is common among all ethnicities.